babies and little adults.
Hi, little tiny adults and big tall babies.
Welcome to this episode of Oh No, it's Syd
Syd
and
and
Olivia
Olivia talk shit
again. Why is it here
it's
again?
back! Oh, shit!
I know. Why are these girls still talking?
Why are they still talking? Well, we don't know.
It's because we haven't found a time to shut up yet.
Nope, but you wanna say who you are?
Hi, my name is Syd.
I'm Olivia.
And together we're Syd and Olivia, and we talk some shit.
How have you been, Syd?
Oh my God, listen, I've been absolutely fine.
You've been stellar.
I've been stellar. How have you been?
I've been absolutely stellar.
Okay, well, no notes there.
No notes on how stellar we've been. Today's episode is a very zeitgeisty thing, I think.
Today we're going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to all of our hearts. Something that we've all been burned by, or maybe we have been the burners of.
Cigarettes.
Today we're talking about cigarettes. Don't do them.
Don't do them.
Next
Just
topic.
eat them.
Just eat them. Next topic. Today we're talking about
Situationships.
Now, situationships, it's very complicated. It's not something we see a lot in the media.
Yeah, but it's something we see every day in our lives.
We see it every day.
If you're between the age of has started dating and is married
or dead.
If you're not dead, you've probably have seen a situation
or been in one.
Yeah.
Let's
define that
Olivia, what is your definition of a situationship?
I'll define situationship, and then we'll have Syd define it, and then we'll go on Urban Dictionary to see, what the general consensus is.
Yeah, because Urban Dictionary is the only true
form of
defining things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, my definition of a situationship would be when two people don't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But try to do a non-pressure version of a relationship where they're hanging out. It's a little bit more than friends with benefits. You're going on dates. There's a lot of gray area stuff. But you're not calling it a relationship because one or multiple partners does not want to or is not ready to.
That's an awesome definition. I too, Sydney Heller, have a definition. I wrote it down, and so it's official. Because when you write something down, it becomes official.
Absolutely.
My definition of a situationship is noun. When one or two motherfuckers takes part in a relationship, but out of fear of making things serious or messy, do not label it, leading to said relationship, ironically, becoming more serious and messier.
That's a really good definition.
Yeah, that's
like top notch.
Because the whole thing is somebody will go like, oh, I'm anxious about relationships, and let me tell you, I've been this bitch.
Oh, me too.
I've absolutely done this.
Oh yeah, we're not two people here like,
no.
God, we've always wanted relationships.
No, I have been the shitty person, and I've been the person who goes, man, what?
Yeah,
and I've done both things, and neither's great. And it's the reason that the shitty person will be like, I can't be in a relationship, but still treat it exactly like a relationship is because they go, I'm anxious about titles, I'm anxious about a relationship.
I'm afraid, I'm nervous.
But the thing is, it's like, you're making this way more anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Because you're not just calling it what it is and being like, awesome, now I can focus on other things, like, I don't know, potato salad.
Yeah, or like, oh, well, we don't want to be in a relationship because what if you break up? Well, cool, break up. That's awesome.
Yeah. Also, you're going to break up no matter what, and it's going to be painful no matter what.
Yeah, and if you don't break up, one of you will die before the other.
So why not just call it what it is and keep moving, my guy?
The Urban Dictionary top-rated situationship definition is, and this is the definition.
Okay.
Let's just chill, have sex, and be confused on the fact that we are not together, but have official emotions for each other.
Yeah, that's about right.
I actually liked your definition better.
Thank you so much.
I liked your definition better. But yeah, it's a really confusing thing. So we're going to get into the math and science behind it because I think that's the best way to break down something confusing and amorphous.
Yeah, I think that today we're going to be slipping on our science lab coats.
Yeah, our science lab coats and our doctor hats.
Our doctor hats and our mathematician glasses.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the smart girls. We're going to be the smart girls. We're going to be so smart about all of the things that are so confusing to you and me.
We're going to break down everything that we've learned in our experiences
and
try to figure out why these things are so
bad.
Bad, why they go bad, how you could do one that's good.
You can't.
I see. I have some thoughts later on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Let's talk about some equations.
Yeah, we'll
Because
start with some equations.
Equations are math.
Yeah.
And we can trust math.
Yeah.
Because it's rooted in something. So we're going to do some equations for the types of people who enter a situationship.
Right, because you need to be a specific equation of person to start out in a situationship usually.
Right.
Anyone can usually get into one, but here's some contestants.
So here would be a contender, okay? For this equation we have the desire to be loved plus toxic masculinity minus the ability to communicate, all of that multiplied by severe mommy issues equals a contender for a situationship.
I think that's beautiful. I have an equation right here.
Yep.
Okay, well, I've got being in a horrible place psychologically.
Absolutely.
Plus romanticizing, and then parenthesis, depression plus substance abuse.
Classic.
And parenthesis equals an ideal partner for person A.
Oh, absolutely.
It's. I think those are some good equations.
Yeah.
I think what's funny about situationships is, I feel like nowadays most things start as situationships.
Oh yeah.
Like I've never entered something wanting a relationship. Like I've never entered even a relationship being like, I want a relationship. I've always been like, no. I just want to hang out. Which I think
that's the cool thing to do.
Because that's a cool thing to do. And also because like if you're in a place where you're like, I don't want a relationship for XYZ, like entering a situationship to me is not in any way, shape, or form bad.
No, it feels like, oh my God, well, at least I can get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, every relationship I've had was a situationship at one point.
Yeah.
And I was usually the one going like, I'm just, and then it was like, oh, okay, I guess this
you were the one saying, I don't want a relationship.
I was, yeah.
And then by the end, you're like, I guess this is a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously there's times where it doesn't turn into a relationship and it becomes weird in some other way. I think there is a point at which a totally healthy, normal, two people hanging out without putting too much pressure on each other type of situationship turns bad.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in the science of that.
Absolutely. And it's also very normal to have a situationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people have them. But when do you think is the point where it goes bad?
Well, I'd like to explain that with a graph.
Absolutely, Olivia. You are the king of math and science.
I'm the king of math and science, and I'm the grand chancellor of graphs.
And you're the grand chancellor of graphs.
Basically, I look at it this way. We've got an axis, right? We've got an axis, and we'll draw it, right?
Yeah, we'll draw it.
So there's a y-axis and an x-axis. And on the on the x-axis, let's picture the amount of time you are with this person in a situationship.
Okay.
And that just goes on as the x-axis goes on. For the y-axis, we're labeling that as communication.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the time, communication starts out pretty good for both people at the beginning of a situationship because everyone's very confident that they know what they want.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone's like, oh, I can do this. I can absolutely be in a situationship with you. I can hang out with you without this turning into a relationship, and I know I don't want a relationship, and I'm going to be super clear about that right off the bat.
Yep.
And I think as time goes on, and it can happen differently for different partners. Like, let's say one partner continues their communication across the board as time goes on, and it's still good communication going across. But if the other person gradually decreases in their communication faster than the one person, then there's just then it starts to get fucked. And even if they go up and down towards the bottom, that's even worse.
Yeah, you become a big fuck.
Because it's like false hope kind of stuff of like, oh, they communicated a little bit. And I think to me, when both parties stop actually communicating, or if one party stops communicating, even if that party is pretending they're communicating, but they're not really communicating what they're feeling, then I think that's when it goes to shit, in
Absolutely.
my scientific opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you are the chancellor of graphs.
Yeah.
I also have a graph because I am the vice chancellor of graphs.
Absolutely.
It's always good to be the vice of anything.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you want to have some vices.
I want to have some vices. Is that what the vice chancellor gets to do? Just have some vices?
You get to have any kind of vice you want.
I'm
so
down.
you
I
can
like
go gambling.
Less responsibility as
Nice.
well.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
You're like the chancellor, but you just have more vices.
Yeah, I'm VP.
Okay.
Okay, so imagine a chart. Imagine a chart, if you will. And this chart is to show you how many relationships in your life have been relationships and how many have been situationships.
Interesting.
And this applies to
the average bear.
The average bear of our generation.
Yeah.
Like the average generational bear, if you will. So imagine a chart, all right? On your x-axis, you have all of the different romantic connections you've formed in your lifetime, all right? And on the y-axis, you have the span of time of each of those connections, like the span of time each one has lasted.
So this is a graph with multiple bars
squares,
a bar
and
graph.
A bar graph, if you will.
If
I
you
am
will.
the vice chancellor of graphs. So let's say you have 8 romantic connections from the course of your life, okay? Let's say you've had 8 romantic connections in your lifetime. Like 6 of those, if you're an average generational bear,
Yeah.
were situationships, and only like 2 of them were defined relationships.
Yeah.
And like those situationships can be high on the graph. Like
Yeah.
those could have been like 5 to 10 months,
Yep.
maybe a year,
Yep.
2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And some of those relationships could have been smaller or bigger or whatever. And they all feel like some of them feel equal, some of
Yeah.
them feel more painful, some of them feel less painful.
Yeah.
But those different types of relationships have different terms, those terms being situationship and relationship.
Yeah.
And so we define our breakups,
Or
our
those
losses.
terms being relationship versus we weren't even dating.
We weren't even dating. I don't know
So
what
why
we
are
were.
you upset?
Yeah. So those losses of those people are treated differently.
Absolutely.
Even if they feel the same, worse, less than worse.
Yep.
You know, they're treated differently.
Yeah. You could have a 6-month-long situationship with someone who broke your heart into a million pieces.
True.
And you could have a 4-month relationship with someone who you never even got as close to. And
Yeah.
people would still think you're weird for being hurt by the situationship.
This is correct. I think this brings us to a lovely segment.
Yeah.
Your favorite segment and mine called
We have notes. Today, you're going to be shocked. We have notes on situationships.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's good because we've both been in situationships. We're both
We
pulling
sure
from
have.
our own experiences and from the experiences of friends we've seen go through things.
Yeah, and from the experiences of both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
why don't you go for it,
Sure,
Olivia?
I'll go first. All right, here's my first note on situationships in general.
Yes.
Okay, this is one that I feel like a lot of people need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
If being in a situationship has become emotional torture for you, it's not gonna get better.
That's a lovely note.
Yeah, that's just the thought of run away, end it now, get
Yeah.
out of it now. Because if you guys are not having any fun at the beginning of what could become a relationship,
Yeah.
your relationship's gonna suck.
If one of the members of a situationship is overthinking it so hard, trying to make it not feel like a relationship so hard,
And that's hurting someone or both people
Then
or stressing everyone out.
it's not going to end up being fun as a relationship
Yeah.
because they're not going to be able to get out of their own head.
It might not become a relationship. There's a huge chance it won't.
Yeah.
It will probably only get worse and you will only get more hurt.
Yeah.
So if it sucks already before you're even dating for real, get the fuck out. That is my first note.
That's why people test
Test cobus.
that's one more time. That's why people test drive cars.
Yeah, and the test driving is so important.
Yeah.
But if the car's breaking down on the road before you even decide you want that type of car,
If in the middle of the test drive, like the wheels fall off,
Yeah.
and the car like falls to the ground, and
And
then
then
the
gaslights
steering
you about
wheel
it.
flies off the handle,
Yeah.
there's no reason to buy that car.
if the steering wheel flies off the handle,
Then there's no reason to
you
buy
don't
that
buy
car.
the car.
Okay, I have a note about situationships.
Okay.
I cannot be your therapist and your on-call escort. I am being paid for neither.
Well, there we go.
I value my time and I cannot just give it out.
Yeah.
Because I have a job.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be acting as your therapist, because people love to do that to women, or if I'm going to be acting as your big sex party, I need to be paid.
Exactly. So the thing we've learned here is pay Sydney for sex.
Pay me for sex, okay? Dad, stop watching this.
But yeah, no, it is true because there is a certain level of effort, above and beyond effort, you put in for the person that you're romantically attached to.
Yeah, anyone you care about.
And if that person is committing to you and going, I'm your boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, I'm your partner, it justifies a little bit more like, okay, I can dig deeper and go the extra mile to be there for this person because they are gonna do that for me.
Yeah.
But in a situationship, there is no promise. They might just go like, "Aw, thanks so much for making my life better. Now go fuck yourself. I've always hated you."
Yeah.
Like, that's totally possible.
And that's not even like a fun outcome.
Oh, it's a bad outcome.
Yeah, I think it's way more fun to be like, I want to do a nice thing for this person because I like them a lot, and I feel like they like me equally.
Yeah, exactly.
That feels great.
Yeah. And that's once again not to say you can't be emotionally invested in someone before you are in a relationship with them.
You can be.
But the thing is, you have to clock everything you're feeling the whole time if you are in a situationship, because otherwise it will slip into a dangerous place.
It will slip into the danger zone.
Now, this actually perfectly leads into my next note.
Here we go.
My second note on situationships is watch out for the point of no return.
Oh, and we mentioned the point of no return.
The point of no return is different for everybody, but I'll give some examples. The point of no return to me means this is when we're past being friends.
Yeah.
This is when we're past being two
Fuck
people
buddies.
hooking up, two fuck buddies. It's when there starts to be things where you're like, that's more than a friendship. That's more like a relationship. For example, going on a vacation with somebody, saying I love you,
Meeting the parents.
sleeping over at their house every day.
Or hanging out all the time, like during the daytime when you're not doing anything sexual.
Merging friend groups.
Setting your friends up with each other.
Yeah. And how about I'll just put in any continuous long gooey texts about how the other person is the most incredible person you've ever met.
Yeah.
I would call all of those things the point of no return.
There's no returning from that. You better fucking pick something.
So at that point, if you've passed that and you're still going, no, but it's just casual.
And listen, I've done that.
Yeah, oh, me too.
And I regret it.
And this is why we watch out for the point of no return.
Yeah.
If
Because you hurt people and you don't want to hurt people, especially not people who you think are great.
No one wants to hurt people.
No.
And that's why you have to watch out for the point of no return.
Ugh.
Because if you've hit it and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to date this girl or guy or person at all, but we've gone on 3 vacations together. Now is your wake up call to go, cool, I'm going to end it. Because
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
Because that's not fair.
Yeah.
Now you're treating like someone like you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And we've all been on multiple ends of that.
Oh,
but
we've
it's
all done that.
yeah, exactly. So that's my second note.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. My next note is, why do we let the excuse, I'm scared of commitment, justify not putting a label on what you're already doing? Saying I'm scared has never been an excuse we let slide for anything.
That's true.
Here are some examples. A child says, Mommy, my tummy hurts, but I'm scared of going to the doctor. The mommy says, I feel like we should go to the doctor, kid.
You have to be brave.
The kid says, oh no, I want it to be fixed miraculously without going to the doctor. The mommy says, okay, why don't we get over that initial fear and go to the doctor and see how it is?
Yeah.
You go to the doctor, you get some like antacids, some Tums or whatever, a lollipop. You go, this wasn't that bad actually.
Yeah.
This is kind of exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Here's another example.
Sure.
A child says, I'm afraid of the dark, but I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. The mom says, maybe you should turn off the lights and try going to sleep. Here, I'll give you a nightlight. That's helpful.
That's a compromise.
Yeah, that's a compromise. I'll give
no,
you a
even
nightlight.
with the nightlight, I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm afraid of the dark, and so I can't try it.
And so that mother doesn't then turn to everyone she knows and goes, it's okay, it's just casual. My son doesn't sleep.
My son doesn't sleep. He stays awake forever.
But it's okay, because he's afraid to sleep.
It's okay. He's basically a vampire. It's all right. And it's just casual.
Yeah, and you know, like if you are saying you are afraid of commitment, and what you actually are is not that into the person, or not really sure where you are in your life,
Or
then,
maybe you just want to fuck around.
yeah, then you're lying. And once again, let's
or you're
go
not
back
over your ex.
Yeah, let's go back to you have to be honest, because if you're just like, my only thing is I'm afraid of commitment, that's not good enough.
Or let's look into that. Why? Is that?
Yeah, because I've been afraid of commitment.
I've been afraid of commitment too, but why were you afraid of commitment?
I was afraid of commitment because when I was younger, I was rushed into a relationship.
There you go.
And it ended very badly. And I wished I had had more time to think, do I actually want this, or am I being rushed into it? So that was a reason I was afraid of commitment.
Yes.
And I think that's completely valid. But at the
totally
same
is.
time, being an adult human being who doesn't suck as much as I was gonna say as much as I'd like to. Who doesn't suck maybe that much. I tried to look at those behaviors of my own and go, okay, well, this has nothing to do with anybody else. I have to fix this. This is my issue.
A time I fucked up, I was in a situationship, and I was like, I'm afraid of commitment. What I really meant was, I just got out of a really long relationship, and I might still love that person, even if I don't want to. It's just still there, you know?
Yeah, and you don't want to admit that, because and sometimes you wouldn't even know, but you just be
but
like,
it just feels wrong, right? Like, it feels weird when you first get out of something. It feels like cheating.
Yeah, well, especially when you've been with someone for a very long time, and then, you know, relatively,
and then when you move on to another person, they can be the best person you've ever met. They can be great. In my personal experience, there was a wonderful, fantastic human being who was just like simply the best.
Yeah. And
I was just like, oh, I'm not ready for this, but that's all on me, and I only made it bad because you know what? We live and we learn.
We do. We live and we learn. and I think that's
not their fault, only my fault.
I think that's important though, because like taking responsibility for things, I feel like that builds character.
It does.
And if you're a person who never takes accountability for anything,
you gotta admit when you're
then
wrong.
You're fucking okay.
We've fucked up. We all have.
That actually leads me to my next note.
Let's
wow, this is so synergized, integrate. Like everything leads to it. The next thing so well.
It's like a little sexy snake.
It's a sexy little snake
that just slides around.
All right, this is something that definitely comes from something that happened to me.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
All right, here's my final note on situationships for this
we
have
names?
note segment. Maybe. Hurt someone's feelings sooner rather than later.
And I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, because here's the thing. People aren't evil. People don't go, I want to be in a situationship because I want to hurt a 21-year-old girl's feelings.
Yeah, I mean, maybe an evil person would do that.
But
most people are not evil.
But most people actually do bad things because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, they're just scared.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, just so you know, you will, in your life, hurt people's feelings without realizing it.
Yeah.
And that's just a part of being alive, my guy. So if you know you're going to hurt someone's feelings and you're afraid of it, just get it over with.
It's like ripping a Band-Aid off.
Exactly. I was in a situationship, as they would say.
I remember it
with
well.
A guy, let's call him Chut.
Chut. A not real name.
We'll call him Chut.
And if your name is Chut, this isn't about you.
This isn't about you.
So
Chut.
turn this off and go the fuck
away,
Chut.
And if you're
fuck you,
Chut, get out of here.
Chut's not like a slur for anything, right?
I desperately hope not.
Okay, well, if it is, we didn't know.
We didn't know, and there's proof right there.
Yep.
Should I look that up right now?
No, it's not.
All right. So yeah, I met this guy, Chut. Mm-hmm. I was 21, he was 31. That's the first red flag.
10 years?
The thing about Chut is that when I went on my first date with him, little did he know, he actually made me feel funnier and cooler and better than like anyone I had ever been in a real relationship with.
Yeah.
And probably just he was a good audience.
Yeah.
But I took that to heart as a 21-year-old, and I was like, oh my God, this feeling is like such a high.
Yeah. Well, it feels good to feel desire.
Exactly. And to feel like, oh, I'm so cool, and this older person thinks I'm cool, which was a drug I was addicted to.
Sure.
And basically, long story short, Chut and I hung out for about 5 months.
Yes. Without any labels.
Without any labels. And it was like a lot of, me going over there multiple times a week, sleeping over all the time. Like, once again, like I just said, long texts from Chut being like, you are a light in this world. You are everything. And me being like, okay, awesome. And
It's a
now,
big statement.
yeah, it was. And saying a lot of ever statements. You're the funniest person ever. You're the blah, blah, blah person ever. That makes you feel very special, especially as a young person. So me, as a 21-year-old, and by the way, just a little addition to this is that Chut and I drank all the fucking time.
Okay.
So this was bad for me because I was having like 4 or 5 gin and tonics a night.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, because he was like, I love to drink. And I was like, I love to be cool. So that was a bad addition on top of everything.
Sure.
Because alcohol makes you worse.
Well, it heightens everything.
It heightens
definitely.
everything. It makes you sadder. But I would say to Chut over the 5 months, over and over and over again, hey, do you want to just call it off and be friends? Because I feel like, I haven't heard from you in a second. You want to pull back? Like, do you want to just be friends? And every time he would respond with an overwhelming no.
Yeah.
Like a no, like I need you in my life. You're a light in this world. Yeah. Like crazy, like really, really like convincing enough responses, like big paragraph shit. And like, so to me, I was like, okay, this is just, then that's fine. I just wanted to check in and communicate. My favorite story from the situationship is one time I texted him something to the effect of like, hey, we should hang out soon. And he wrote back and he was like, I'm actually going to be busy for the next 6 weeks. I'm really busy. I can't hang out. I'm busy for the next 6 weeks. And I was like,
That's a long time.
okay.
Like out of the state or no?
No,
Okay.
just busy. And I was like, okay. And then later that day, I texted him, oh, by the way, would you want to be in a sketch with me and Sydney for our channel? And he wrote back, yes, I'm free anytime.
Oh, no.
So to me, that's not really communicating because now I'm getting mixed messages. Eventually, I broke it off with him, but in a way that was like, I texted him and was like, hey, we don't hang out. So I'm going to guess we don't hang out anymore. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess my actions speak louder than my words.
Oh, dang. Okay, this is sad.
And so looking back, to wrap up my note, in retrospect, if homeboy had just said, our age difference weirds me out, or something like that it probably was. Or maybe, I don't know, you're loud and irritating. Whatever it was.
Or he could have said, my name is Chut.
Hurt their feelings sooner rather than later. Because if I had heard, like, our age difference freaks me out, or something, I would have been like, oh man, for like 2 weeks.
Right.
But the way it ended up happening,
Made you
I
sadder.
took it so personally because I was like, well, if you won't tell me what it even is, like, it must just be my worth as a person. And that
sucks.
is the problem with situationships.
Okay, and I have one more note on situationships. No pet names.
Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely not.
No pet names, not allowed.
Not allowed.
No baby.
No.
Sweetie.
That was another one that, yeah.
No honey. No. Okay, here's the thing. If you're gonna do pet names in a situationship, let's make them reasonable. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's make them. Let's set the standard
yeah.
low.
Yeah.
So it's like if the thing you're doing is we're not dating, we're just hanging out and we're fucking, and sometimes we like eat sushi or something.
Yeah, or we'll go out, dance,
sing or something. Then your pet name should be like, oh hey Captain Fun.
That's a great pet name.
Yeah, or it should be like all right, sex rocket fun time.
Yeah, or I mean,
so nice seeing you today, not my brother.
yeah. Oh
Not my
God.
brother. That's a great pet name
So-
because it shouldn't be.
So we now have a small list of pet names.
Yeah, we do.
Captain Fun is my favorite pet name I've
Captain
ever heard.
Fun's real fucking good.
Yeah.
You could call someone like
Senator Fuck.
oh hey Senator Fuck, why don't you fuck me all up in my
Yeah.
in my House of Congress? Fuck you, Senator Fuck.
See, this is exactly how to refer.
And it's great because
To
you're
your
pointing
situationship
out the
partner.
fact that you guys touch tummies and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're also pointing out the fact that you're not trying to be like, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah.
So why not call somebody like, oh, hi, pudgy little sexy pudge?
Yeah, pudgy little sexy pudge really works on me.
If you say pudgy little sexy pudge to somebody, they will not want to be in a relationship with you. Absolutely. So that's a great way to get around that.
Oh my god.
And those are our notes.
Yeah, those are our notes on situationships.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Now,
crazy.
I feel like I have so many friends. I have so many friends, period.
Period. End of sentence.
Anyways, bye guys. I have so many friends who are constantly being like, is this a relationship or no? Like, they'll be seeing somebody and they'll go, I don't know if I'm in a relationship or not, because nobody wants to bring it up.
Yeah.
And so you're just, like, doing all the stuff and you go, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to fucking say anything because it seems pretty good.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to lose this.
And so
I'm going to ignore the horrifying pit in my stomach for as long as I can.
Yes. So where do you go when you don't know something? Reddit. You go to Reddit.
So now it's time for another segment called r/talk shit.
This is a segment where we go to Reddit and see the universe's questions.
Yeah.
And we answer them because we are God.
Because we're God and we know how to answer every question.
We know how to answer everything because we are gods. Here's a question from Reddit. Mm-hmm. This is from u/Kielbasadong.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Help! Am I in a relationship? Hi guys, I'm 23, male, and need some help. I've been seeing this girl for 6 months. I hang out with her at least once a week ever since I met her, whenever we both have free time. We have sleepovers every time we hang out, go on dates, have sex, etc. Neither of us have talked about feelings or defined our relationship, and because of that, I'm kind of confused. Aren't we all, buddy?
Yeah.
We always have a good time when together and text every day. I don't want to assume anything about whether this is casual or formal, but I also don't want to ruin anything by asking. How should I bring this up? I would like to become an official couple with her, but I'm not used to bringing up this topic with girls. I appreciate any advice. Thanks.
Aw.
That's very kind.
Well, that's now that's a very nice, person.
Boy.
That's a nice boy.
What do you think Kielbasadong should do?
I think
strange username.
Yeah, I think Kielbasadong should express how he is feeling, because if the end of the day, like, people think, speaking specifically from my own self, people think we are stronger than we are emotionally sometimes. And if you have feelings for someone, you have feelings for someone.
Yeah.
And no amount of like, yeah, but I still want to hang out with them and I don't want to ruin this will ever like top the fact that you have feelings for someone, unless you stop having feelings for them or something happens and something changes. But I would say if you have feelings for someone, you gotta tell them. For example, I actually was in a situationship with my current boyfriend.
That's true.
For a while, because we were both like, I don't want to be in a relationship, which was totally valid on both ends. And I was the one who was like, shit, like, I fucked up. And coming from like Chut and other people like that, I was like, I got to go so over the top with communication because I can't have this happen again.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, Jake is a really good communicator. But I was the one who said, and you can totally steal this line if you want, but I said at some point, a bunch of months in, I was like, hey, I fucked up and I fell in love with you. Now you can take that back. You can be, I fucked up and I have feelings for you. I fucked up and I like you too much. I always used to say, yeah, I'm worried I'm going to like you too much or something. And that's always a good, easy way to test the waters instead of going as far as, I mean, I was at a point where it was like I had to say that or peace out because I was like, sorry, here's what's up in my brain.
My go-to sentence is usually, hey, listen, you can hate this, but I have a big fat crush on you. So what do you want to do about that?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And I think like, you know, it doesn't have to be precious. You can say feelings that are really true in a way that's completely casual and not precious because it alleviates a lot of the pressure off of them. So yeah, I would say go to your girl and say, listen, I fucked up and you can hate this, but I've got a big fat crush on you. What do you want to do about it?
And I'm a big fan of big gestures. So I think you
love a big gesture.
Jump out of a hot air balloon.
I thought you were going to say jump out of a moving car.
I think you should jump out of a moving car and propose to her. I don't know. See what she does about that.
Yeah. See the feeling see what happens when you say the first part. And then if it's positive, then you can jump out of a moving car and propose.
To her.
All right. Back to Reddit. Blah Blah Toast 21.
Blah, blah, toast.
Blah Blah Toast.
Perfect.
Says, I, 25 female, have been in a situationship with a man, 38.
Okay.
Once again, that's not a judgmental pause.
No, it's
that's
just-
a we've been there pause.
Yeah, it's just it's something to notice.
Yeah, it's for almost a year now. It started off as a relationship, which then, for age gap matters and other work issues, he decided to cut short. Okay, so they were in a relationship, and then he said, I don't want to be in a relationship.
Okay.
We were distant for a month after that, but have been very close again for a few months now. We see each other every day. That's too much. Talk about anything. We are pretty intimate, and sometimes we have sex. He even jokingly tells me he loves me. Watch out for the point of no return once again, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we're past there.
However, this is where it gets dark. He keeps telling me he doesn't do hugs, kisses, and we don't really have any sort of non-sexual touching. Stupidly, now I think I'm in love. As you could guess, as you could guess, I'm driving myself crazy to decipher these signals. What does it mean? Does it look like he likes me and would be interested in a relationship with me? Or does it sound like he couldn't care less and wants to keep it a situationship? Please no advice such as talk to him. I feel like this is not a conversation he wants to have, and I am not ready to receive a bad answer from him.
Here's my thing, girl, and you're going to hate me for this.
Yeah.
You got to dump that motherfucker.
Get the fuck out.
So that...
There is no other option.
That is not good.
Run for the fucking hills.
That, I know it's when you find someone that you have fun with, you're like, oh my God, they're so fun.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. That's a person who's like, I do not do hugs.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a serial killer thing to say.
Yeah, that's literally...
I do not do hugs.
That's some like Zodiac killer shit.
That's like the origin story of the Joker. I do not do hugs.
I
Are you
smother my mom
okay?
with a pillow. I do not do hugs.
Are you okay? Okay, so this person is obviously about to have their villain origin story start.
Yeah.
And they need
Don't
to...
be their Harley Quinn.
You don't want to be their Harley Quinn.
She's a tragic character.
She's a tragic
There's nothing
character.
to romanticize there.
No, it's sad.
It's sad, and we want to save her.
You need to switch universes.
You have to get into a different universe.
Go be like one
Catwoman
of those
or something.
killer badass women from Black Panther or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
go
get
do
into
that.
another
Yeah.
comic book.
Unequivocal?
Unequivocally?
Unequivocally, get out.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Somebody who is 38 and is like, I don't do hugs. I want to be able to define this how I want to. You're not allowed to ask me for things. This is what I want and nothing that you want. I'm going to go with maybe that's not your guy.
That is a hard get out.
That's a hard get out because also like once you're 38, you're an adult.
You're an adult and you
can
have
figure that out.
You kind of can act like an adult.
If you're like 13 and you do that, I'd be like, oh, they're 13. Maybe
Yeah.
let's cut them some slack. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I would say
38.
run. And I would say if you're a 25-year-old human female and you're into older guys, you can find another one in 45 seconds.
It'll take you about 30 seconds.
So yeah, get the fuck out.
You know what you should do?
What?
Get a Words with Friends account.
Get a Words with Friends
Start
account.
playing Scrabble against random users and just see
what
how
happens.
many
Watch your
zaddies-
suitors line up. Watch the zaddies
see
line
how many
up.
word daddies line up to play against your 24-point word and then chat you, hey, want to
Hey.
get coffee sometime?
They chat you,
live in
hey,
Iowa."
where do you live?
Hey, where do you live? I live in Iowa.
Quick, send a picture of yourself.
Send me a picture of your feet.
Yeah.
I just played the word jihad. That's always my go-to because I really have played the word jihad so many times because you get
mean-
so many points because of that J.
Yeah, you gotta just get the points.
Listen, I really do love Words with Friends, and if you want to play me on Words with Friends, please do, because no one does.
Yeah.
I always try to get people to play me, and nobody does.
I mean, they will if you ask enough.
Okay. Let me know if you want to play me at Words with Friends. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Casual dating versus relationship. This
Okay.
question is asked by These Cup 8181.
All right.
All right, These Cup 8181. So I've been seeing this guy for almost 2 months. He made it clear from the beginning that he doesn't want a relationship. We could stop there. We could stop there.
Well, we know what
Well, then we know what it is, don't we? A few months back, he had just gotten out of a relationship with a very controlling ex. Again, we really could stop there.
We could stop there.
I was fine with the whole thing. However, we act very much like a couple. We hang out a few times a week, go on dates, he's slept over a few times, has even met most of my friends. Sounds like you're in a relationship, my girl. I haven't seen anyone else since we've started hanging out, and I don't think he has either. But as time passes, it's getting harder and harder to not develop feelings, as I know he doesn't want a relationship. How long should I wait this out before bringing up my feelings? You've already waited too long, my girl.
0 seconds. Go back in time.
You need to
get a time machine.
Get in a time machine, go back in time, and say, hey, no, from the beginning.
And once again, telling someone you've grown feelings for them doesn't have to be mortifying, especially if it's early enough. If you've started catching the feelings and you go, hey, I started, should I peace out?
Hey, maybe at the very beginning when he says, I don't want a relationship, maybe your response is, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship either. However, if I start to grow feelings, I'm going to let you know so that I don't get hurt and I protect myself.
If you're not watching the YouTube version of this, I am pointing at Syd right now in emphasis.
That's something you should learn to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're allowed to be like, oh, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship. You're allowed to not think you want a relationship.
Exactly. You're allowed to change your mind.
But if later on you feel like, oh, wait, I really like this person, you got to tell them right then and there.
Clock all your feelings as you're having them. You have to.
Because you got to protect yourself.
Oh my God, yeah. And others, but mostly yourself.
We want to protect you, these Cup 8181.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's their name, right?
Yep. Okay, here's one from You're Okay. Mm-hmm. Confused. I'm in a thing with a guy, his off and on.
Stop right there.
Stop right there. What? Okay.
His off
and on.
I think she means it's off on and
Maybe?
off. It's off and on.
He brags about his other girls. All right, I could even stop there.
Yeah, I would stop there.
We're done. When I go off with another guy, he calls me all the names under the sun. This is a crazy person.
This is abusive.
This is an abusive, crazy person you're dating. One day he wants to be friends. Next day he wants to be with me. What should I do? Run.
You should run away.
At first it messed with my head, but I found a way to put him in his place. No, you haven't.
No.
You're just telling yourself that
go away.
you have to run. Also, what confuses me is, I hate this.
That was a scary face you just made.
Also, what confuses me is when I'm done up, ready to go out, he won't text me when I'm looking good. Okay, this is syntactically confusing, but I think what she's trying to say
decode that?
Is when she looks good, he's cold to her. When she's all done up and dolled up, he's like, ugh.
That's not nice.
I have a personal hatred for that.
Uh-huh.
For sending someone a cute picture and a lack of an enthusiastic response.
That's sad.
Like,
people want to feel good about themselves.
if you don't feel enthusiastic about somebody you're dating being cute, go now. You go now.
And if there's like a miscommunication and you
Then that's
thought
okay.
they looked cute, but you just didn't have the time to text back, like you can voice that.
Then she says, what is that? Is he insecure? I don't want to sound narcissistic, but it seems like he's trying to make me feel like I'm nothing. Girl, you're not narcissistic. He is a clinical narcissist. And he is trying to make you feel like you're nothing because he has issues. Run away.
That person sounds really scary. I would say calling somebody every name under the sun never sounds like a good thing.
No, because there's a lot of bad names out there.
There are a lot of bad names like Shirley or Glenn.
Yeah, Glent or
Glent
Chut.
Or Chut. No, I mean, unless calling you names is warranted, like unless you're like, please, Zaddy, call me all these names.
Please, Zaddy, call me Chut.
Please, Zaddy, call me Chut. Then I feel like maybe no. I feel like we don't call people names. You learn that in grade school.
Yeah, no, we don't do it.
No, that's not very nice.
It's not good. It's not nice. It doesn't make you look good.
And this person sounds emotionally stunted and ill.
This person sounds ill. I've met my fair share of ill people.
You have.
This person sounds ill. I would say, run the fuck away.
I'm going to give this a 0 out of 10.
Yeah, 0 out of 10 from us. Well, this was, I think, a very scientific episode.
Listen, I've never felt smarter in my entire life than I feel right now.
I've never felt more like the Chancellor of Graphs.
I've never felt more like the Vice Chancellor of Graphs than I do right now.
Look at us. We rule the graphs. We are good at knowing when to leave a situationship when we are not the ones in it.
Yeah, when we're not the ones in it.
Yep.
And if you have any questions about whether you should leave your situationship, you can tweet at us.
You can tweet at us at Syd and Olivia.
And publicly tweet, I'm in a situationship. Syd and Olivia,
should I
get out of it?
And we'll let you know.
We'll let you know on the big public interwebs.
Yeah, you can also follow us on TikTok or Instagram. You can check out our YouTube channel here and subscribe it. If you're listening on Spotify or anything, watching, come check out our YouTube channel. We have all the podcast episodes up here, but filmed with like fun animated bits.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And until next time, I've been Syd.
I've been Olivia.
And we are Syd and Olivia. We have been talking some shit, and thank you for
Thank
joining
you guys
us.
so much for joining.
Goodbye.
Bye.